Excuse me. Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning to one and all. Hello, Matt. How are you, sir? So, yes, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam, the Black Swamp Medium. And again, thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Debbie. Hopefully, the East Coast is doing well for you out there. Cheers. Good morning, Nicole. So hello. So how is everybody? Hello, Carrie Lynn. Sorry, I'm reading all kinds of things at the same time. Sometimes you can multitask, sometimes you can't. Good morning, Carmen. I'm sure it is, Debbie. Yeah, I know it's a little bit cool out here too. Had a I didn't upload it, but let me show you guys something real quick, and I'm going to show you through the computer camera and stuff. Minus 25. Yeah, Matt, that would be a little cold. Might want to put on a long sleeve shirt at this point. No short sleeve in maybe in another couple months, right? Jeez. Whoo, that's crazy. Gosh, yeah. So this morning, it caught my eye because I was wondering what, I knew the sun was coming up. It was going to be relatively mostly sunny day for where I'm at. Right, Matt. But it was so I woke up, the normal stuff, and I ended up catching some light, because I didn't have all the windows open, because the way my house fits, it's more east west a little bit. So I noticed some light coming out of the kitchen windows, which faces the east. And I was like, oh, what's going on? And because I'm like, it seems there's like weird colors that just even through the hey, good morning, Rachel. There were some weird colors that just were hitting the curtain that we have. And I was like, well, that's kind of neat. I'm like, is there some kind of cool sunrise? And sure enough, it was. It was, like I said, I didn't have a time to do it, but you guys can just kind of get an idea. And that's looking out my backyard. Now, obviously, the colors are not going to do it. There we go. But nice and cool pinks and purples and reds, and obviously the orange from the sun. Great way to start the day. I mean, I must admit. So that was fun. That's one of the perks that, when you're an early bird, you get to see some of that stuff. And a lot of times that's what it's about is, don't get me wrong. I wish I could sleep, but I'm just not, much into sleeping. I usually don't get very much, and a lot of people know that, and I've talked about it before. But yeah, in the mornings, it's like, you get to see some of these sunrises, and especially like when they're like this, it's super cool. And obviously you've seen me post in the past that when I'm out the other direction at the west, when the sun's setting, I've had some great sunsets. So at least a lot of that, we all can share in those. But a lot of people don't get up so early that they get to see the sunrise and see something like that where it's just amazing. So I love that. I love that I can kind of start my day off like that and get to witness the beauty of where we are, and how we live. And it's so cool, so hopefully, if you guys ever have a chance, or don't hesitate to wake up a few times early, just to be a part of the sunrise. I mean, it's like anything, you're awakening your day. And so now, everything else around you is awakening. So it's kind of cool. And granted, all different times of year. I mean, here it is. It's, I don't even, what is the temperature out for me right now? As it computes 16 for me right now. So, and it was nippy. So even just, poking my head out to take those pictures, because I took a few of them, and yeah, it was pretty nippy. So, hey, good morning, Margaret. And yeah, so it was cool. So hopefully, if you guys ever get a chance in the future, wake up early once in a while, especially like on a vacation, maybe give yourself the day or two to sleep in. But then if you got like a week off or something like that, get up early, watch the sunrise, especially if it's going to be cloudy. Hey, Samantha. So, but yeah, so let's see. So everything got shifted. Okay. I had my notes. I'm doing this everything on one screen, even though I have my second screen there. I just was lazy enough not to turn it on. Good morning, Sharon. Oh, right, Debbie. Yeah, see, that's always another thing. You've got pets, especially cats or dogs. They're either going to want to go to the bathroom or they're going to want to eat. So, yeah, there's your alarm clocks for you. So, okay, Margaret. Well, hey, you're warmer than me. So, oh, but you're snowing. Eee. Yeah, it's clear skies out there. Uh, I got, amazing clear sunny skies. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain. So we're supposedly tonight into tomorrow supposed to get some flurries, but hey, good morning, Christine. And the we're supposed to get snow flurries that within 48 hours of tonight, obviously into Monday. They're talking maybe I'll get a total of an inch. So, woo, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. So it's definitely been an interesting winter so far, and even though that was one of the things I put in the show notes for topic and things, which I wanted to address, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about that one before we get to the main one. Dang. Well, thank you, Tim, sir. It's I do shave, kind of straighten it a little bit so that way those of you that appreciate the beard will admire it. So yes, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I bet Debbie. Whew, wind chill. You gotta love that stuff. Okay, cool, Margaret. Yeah, Alberta Clipper moving through. Mm-hmm. That's the way it is. Um, but yeah, I wanted to talk just real quickly about my week because we got into this year and a lot of stuff that you guys know so much, and I beat it, down on top of you guys so much about how I was going. Brotherhood of the Beard, yes, Tim. that deserves that deserves to be up on the screen. Because you do a fantastic job keeping yours together. I mean, this is just a quick straightening, so it's not even perfect. I didn't put anything in it, so hey, Joe, how you doing, sir? Good morning, Jennifer. So but yeah, so this week, like you guys know, I struggled a lot last year, and a lot of it was just getting toxic stuff off of me, which it just, being a light worker, all that stuff comes full circle, and you have to purge that stuff. And at first I didn't know that, well, I knew that, but I didn't know that that was what the ultimate goal was going to be. But then having the upgrade, which I talked extensively about. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Coffee, cheers. There you go. You'll get a sip for that. And I like I said, it was rough, and it was rough trying to tackle a lot of things and just focus because it was so unusual for me. And talking to others, like I said, I've talked about this before, but it just seems so much more intense than like what other people go through. And then when they were going through like upgrades or whatever, they're like still doing things like it's no big deal. And I'm like, man, I'm just like, I feel like garbage every day, because it's it's like I just got cleaned out from the inside. What I mean? Not that way. So stop any of those dirty minds. But uh I mean, just everything spiritually inside just seemed to like get wiped clean. I mean, all the stuff that's been there, just needed to go. And so getting into this year, you know, every day, since we got into New Year's, and it just kept getting better and better. I started having less and less daily problems. I started, being able to focus again. I felt normal for a change, which I'm like, yes, granted, there was a few astrological things that have happened that, did affect me, but now I'm getting sort of a little bit more used to having some days where I'm not feeling too roughed up. Now this week was interesting because again, it's like I got a couple weeks in, and then all of a sudden last week I started having some things, and I didn't really post about them. I just kind of kept them in the back burner because I figured I'll save them for the show. But I had I definitely had a session. So you guys know that with the upgrades and stuff. So obviously I'm still not done, which I kind of knew I wasn't done, but I'm not pushing or pressuring or trying to speed through it. But obviously the upgrade is still alive because I started having the exact same post session symptoms. So because other than that, I mean, I feel fine, health wise and things. So I mean, it wasn't anything like that or any of the other things that are going on in the world that I don't like to talk about on air. But I was feeling good. And then I have the days where it's these, it's a weird hot flash, but it's not, because it. And then I'd have a headache that would come out of nowhere, show up for X amount of time. I think, was it yesterday or Thursday? I think I had the headache for maybe 20 minutes, and I didn't take anything. And so as fast as it showed up, it was gone. And that happened several times, over the last few months. And it was so weird because it's like, just to pop in there. But those, as I realized and dug into it more and asked, it was all the part of the process. So here it is. I'm having a few little things this week, and wasn't bad. It wasn't the worst. And I shouldn't say worst as in a negative way, but worst as in really took me down. But it definitely got my attention. I mean, I still had to function. I still have so many things going on during the week that I can't, there's still things I want to still get back to, I want to do and do other shows and stuff again, hopefully, but I'm just so loaded with family stuff in the evenings that I just don't have the time. So, which is cool, I mean, and my family is important, they're obviously I'm around them a lot. So, they need my attention just like, I need some of their attention too. So, but don't get me wrong. I love this family too. So you guys make me smile. You make me uh share information and again, this is what we like to do. We kind of wake up and kind of start our days, whether you're seeing it live or you're watching it back. So so thank you for showing up all the time or checking this out at another time at your convenience. So but yeah, so this week wasn't bad, but I also was working um through some things. Other than that, I want to I'm going to try to start pushing myself a little bit, but not in the sense that I'm going to burn myself out. uh Kind of thinking that I have no timetable obviously, but what I want to do is kind of start going back on the things that I was trying to accomplish or set up and do with you guys. Is that um I got you, Shannon. Right. Uh, but yeah, I want to get back to some things, and kind of see what goes on. Uh, Interesting enough, it came up in a conversation with Carmen, who's in the chat. But we were talking about this, I think, just yesterday, and it just came out of nowhere. It was an interesting conversation we had back and forth, and she just asked a certain question, and it was like, then it kind of went down this rabbit hole of things, and then we just started kind of having epiphanies, and it made me think about a lot of things, and obviously, it made sense, and it was supposed to happen that way, and so we just kind of like threw everything on the table, and we realized that, with because Carmen does mediumship, and she's very amazing herself in what she does. And so, even with her being guided to like bring this up and then kind of helping with the conversation flow, you know, we realized that, for me, because obviously, we you can go so much as that you ask your guides for all this information, but as much as I don't ask a lot of my other friends, especially the mediums and things like that, I never ask them like, who's around me. It just doesn't. I don't do that. And most of them that hang out with me or and we have these conversations. It's funny because they'll just kind of look at me, and these are ones that I really trust a lot, and so they'll just be like, so what's this, and it's not like I asked them, because I really don't, and I you know it's not that, it I guess because, obviously we want to do that for everybody else. So like when we're like together, that's not really the thing that we're trying to do. We want to hang out, we want to talk and talk about experiences and things, or help each other out with maybe situations that are going on. And it's interesting that we don't really say, hey, I'm going to sit down and get you I'm going to give you a full reading. Sometimes it's just like those quick messages. It very well could be. you know the only I was trying to think. The funny thing is the only one that I ever really had a beard guide around me, and that's beard, not beer. But then that's good enough too. That would be great. I want a beer guide behind me. Yeah, I'll take that drink right now. That would be awesome. He'd just be giving me drunk advice all the time. Now that's, you know what? That's probably, I should trademark that. That sounds like a great comedy movie. You're gonna have a drunk spirit guy. Oh my gosh. I think that would be awesome, to be honest. I mean, oh, okay. So that was fun. But yeah, the only guy that I've ever had that had a beard was Odin. Odin, from the North, one of the the All Father of Norse gods, has visited me several times, and so he's about the only one that I've ever seen with a beard. So hey, I can't take it past him, So hey, it's all good in my book. But um, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't. You ask your guide so much, but then at the same time, you don't sit there and ask for all the like little things because you're like, well, it's kind of little or it's petty, and I'll just work through it or deal with it or whatever, and just go with my common sense and pick things out. So, but talking to others, and like I said, Carmen and I had great conversations yesterday, and so I liked a lot about what we talked about, and so that's the thing is I want to try to start fitting some things in again, like the live readings or something, because granted, I still have a timing thing, so it's not like I I want to. Hey Chuck, how you doing? Good morning. But I just don't have the time during the week, and then obviously on weekends they vary. Obviously, I still need some time for myself to kind of unwind. So sometimes that's either a Saturday and or Sunday because I'm trying to be careful of that. I don't want to burn myself in general. So I'm making sure that I always set at least if I can set one of those days up to where it's, obviously do some things, chores around the house, but take some time that I can just kind of, let everything out and just relax and not force anything. So that way, I can get back up the next day or, go back, like on Monday, get up and go to work and things. So I'm trying to be careful. So yeah, so I'm really limited right now. And then hopefully if everything works out, starting in March, I'll be able to, start squeezing in some more things. I do want to try to squeeze something in. I just can't say when because I don't know yet. But yeah, but I want to get it. I want to get back to maybe like a at least do I'll do some of my Oracle cards and do that for a little bit. And then I really want to get a performance for everybody to do a meditation where everybody can just sit back, listen to me playing the native flutes, and you guys can just kind of unwind and fall asleep if you need to, but that's I really want to get those in. Those I've never lost sight of doing that. And um obviously once we get into beyond March and things, it's going to be a little bit more helpful that I can set something up during the week, um because you just never know what the weekends are going to be like. And like I said, I want to take care of myself, and that is a rule that I've set forth this year. And but I'm not opposed to doing like a flute performance on a Saturday or Sunday, because even then, like the flute one, doing a flute meditation, I get lots of positive effects out of it. So hey Sean, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. But yeah, but I get so much out of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there, playing and stuff like that. But man, that's the one cool thing about the native flute. It just takes me away. And not that other instruments don't do that for other performers, but the native flute, out of all the instruments I have played, is really the one that just takes me to a whole nother place. And so it does, Debbie. But it just is so cool that, when I play, I mean, sometimes get lost in the music. And I'm conscious enough because obviously I know what I'm doing. But all right, well, have a good day at work, buddy. So, and I it's so amazing because even by the end of it, you would think that I would be so tired from doing one of those, and I'm not. Thanks, Tim. I but it just I connect so well with it, and it resonates so much. And even then, I don't know how many people saw it. I think it was in December, I think it was, but I was a part of a light language show, and me and one other person, do music. Well, that's the neat thing is I never knew I was, but I've been incorporating the light language within the music now, which has become a full circle thing. I've done so much taking what is here around us, what's below us, and incorporating it into the music, and then taking all of everybody's energies that is listening or watching, especially, when we're in person. And then I kind of dish that back out to kind of help everybody, with what they're possibly needing. And now, I've been able to sort of connect to the above and bring that down into me. So now I've got a full range of things going on, and that you know, I'm still trying to do light language on my own, so I do hear the words once in a while when I really focus and open my heart, up to it. I do hear the words. Now they don't come in, because if anybody that's ever seen light language or watched some of them, like I had Bonnie Bird on the show once, and she did light language for everybody that was watching that day. And I'm not that quick yet because it's still kind of slow, which I appreciate, because then I can actually hear the language and almost repeat it. So, but see, what's happening now is that it's funneling through. So it's hitting me on the crown, it's funneling right back in. So it's like I'm getting everything from Earth Mother up through me. I'm getting the universe down through me, and then it just kind of comes out. So now it's a really cool experience, and I really notice it more and more every time I play, especially if I'm gonna, if I do like one song, like to practice here and there, it's not so much there. But when I really put 15 minutes or so together to play a few flutes, I can feel it just happening automatically. So it's not even something I got to just say, okay, let's go. It just happens. So I appreciate that. So let me move on real quickly, because I kind of got off a little bit, but I did mention about winter blues and stuff, and I was talking about that a little bit in the beginning. A lot of people are, it's January, and a lot of people are hunkered down in their homes. I mean, obviously you go out to work and any shopping that you might need to do, but we're now into that spot. We're getting close to February as far as my opinion goes. But once we get there, we the more you look at what's going on around us, it's day after day. It's kind of the mundane routine, stuff. And when you have a lot of the people, and you guys know how much I've talked about this in the past, but like rain, rain's a favorite topic of mine, and then at the same time, when it rains, it's cloudy. Well, imagine if it's not raining, but it's cloudy all the time, and that's all you see. And it kind of gives you that appearance of, everything's, and, it doesn't seem pleasant. It's, all those things that kind of we've put on ourselves, and what we were taught growing up, we put a lot of negative spin on all these elements that happen. And that's why I've always said and told everybody, stop looking at rain as it's a bad thing. We know it's good, but don't treat it bad regardless. Even though it's doing good, you're still putting that kind of like, oh, well, I can't go outside. Well, who says you can't go outside? Well, I don't want to get wet. Well, put an umbrella on, put a raincoat on. You keep stacking more negative stuff on top of it for whatever reason. Now, yes, I know it's cold out, not everybody's going to go outside for very long. I get that. But at the same time, there's an appreciation to it. And even if it is cloudy for days on end, we need it. I think people don't, again, realize that we have to balance everything out, and we need the sun, but we also need the clouds. And it seems weird to say that, but we really do. We kind of have to have a little bit of everything to balance it out. Imagine in the middle of the summer. I mean, everybody loves the weather. We like the sun and stuff like that. But, when it's super, bright out, there's almost no clouds. I mean, how many times are people like going to hide under like a tree, or they're trying to get underneath like a tent or something to get out of the sun because it's just too hot. It's too bright. And here it is, you're putting a spin on that. And yet when a cloud covers, the sun, everybody gets excited. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's not burning so much anymore. And it's like, so you see how we're not thinking too good sometimes about how we have to handle situations. We want this, but then we complain about it. Seems familiar, right? And you gotta treat it. And I think and this is great, because this is going to segue into the awareness part that we're getting to. You've got to balance it out, but you got to accept it at the same time. And if you're going to keep putting weird, complaints about whatever the situation is, again, it's cloudy or it's raining, it's too cold, I, don't you think you're going to be swimming in that kind of like ick then all the time, because who knows how long it's going to last before you finally have some decent weather. Why would you put yourself, dragging like through the mud, so to speak, and dying for a good day, but yet you're going to be miserable up until that point? Why would you do that to yourselves? What's the purpose of it? I don't, I don't want that. I never want that. I mean, I stopped thinking that when I got on this path. Once I started learning about, granted with the shamanism and stuff that is my background now, it's all about nature. So you have to accept every single part of it, because if you don't, you're going to struggle. And, yeah, I have my struggles too, but I don't complain about the conditions. I mean, they are what they are. We have to go through it, and that's just the way it is. But the sooner you let go of all that and just accept it and just be happy, regardless of what it's doing, it changes the way you look at things. Okay. Let's see, Rachel. My kids and I love it when rain, because we run outside and stand and play in the rain. Love rain. I love that. That's perfect. I appreciate that, Rachel. Um, it's crazy. Let's see. Oh, I miss Shannon's. I used to always have said, or I used to have said, but the past 2 years I have not. I'm not sure why, but no complaints here. Yeah. It's like I said, we put a lot on ourselves for no reason, and I hate when we do that, and I hate seeing it. I hate seeing a lot of the posts, because it just shows you that you've kind of stepped in it, and now you're just gonna like whatever. You're not gonna just try to change anything. You're just gonna deal with that all the time. And so I want you guys to just start to, you know what I mean? I know it's not an easy overnight thing. You just can't turn instantly and be like, for those like Margaret's, she's dealing with snow right now. It's like not going to be easy to just all of a sudden say, oh, it's snowing. Yay. But you got to start somewhere and just appreciate it, whether, you're out in it or not. Everything that goes on, it's a big balancing act. And like I said, it's a great way because it does segue into the awareness, is just being aware of what's all around us. So, and this is, where is it? I just want to put that up there real quickly so that people know where we're heading into, as the main topic. But I awareness is a big one. So it's not something that, we can get through, in 30 minutes, 32 minutes, because it really is something we'd have to do like for the class and stuff. So, but I wanted to bring it up again because I think it is important right now. And it does matter, like what I just talked about with the whole thing of looking around, man. Thanks, Tim. Yep. Let's see, Debbie, what do you got real quick? Super cold just makes me love and respect my native ancestors that they didn't have heated home or car to get into. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They had to deal with it and they just accepted it. It was common for them to be in and amongst the elements, and it didn't matter. It was just the way life was. We've kind of got spoiled. I guess that's a better way to put it. We're spoiled. We have a lot of amenities around us, and it doesn't take much. So, right, Matt, heat wave. But but awareness, what's great about it, and what's important to make sure you guys are thinking about it, or at least starting to be aware of things. It's not so much of just being like, like I'm looking at you guys, and I can see my coffee cup over here to my right, over here, I can see my phones right here. I can see, the other computer monitor, but I'm still looking at you guys. That's a part of being aware, is where you're visually able to see what's going on around you all the time. So even though I'm looking at you guys, I can still see everything that's happening in my 180-degree view. But those are things that you have to work on. But at the same time, the awareness is also what's within you, and like I said, when you get into starting to accept the elements, hot, cold, wet, rain, snow, flood, I mean, all that stuff, all the things that you deal with outside, when you accept it all, you're now becoming aware. And it's not something you can do easy overnight. But one thing that I've talked about for a lot of stuff, and you don't have to go down the same path as me, where you're into mediumship and stuff, but meditation is hugely critical if you're looking to become more of aware and opening yourself up to just the things that are going on around you. The fact is, you are slowing yourself down enough so that way you can hear, not so much audible, but hear, sense, feel, which is the same thing as sense, but you can start to understand things a little bit more. Yeah, Tim. Yep. That's a lot of where some of the stuff I've been taught has come from too. That's it. I love that. Yeah. A lot of the things I've done have been a result of students of his that have now got schools, and I've learned from them, courtesy of Tom Brown Jr. So, yes. uh, again, it helps that once you start doing meditation, and I know it's not easy for a lot of people because we live chaotic lives. And I've talked about, meditation and stuff and how to get yourself going in it. But 5 minutes a day, whether you're got a minute to go off to the side and do that, or I told you the funniest thing is to do is go into the bathroom, pretend like you're going to do your business, set the clock for 5 minutes and just sit there and just focus on your breathing. You can't make excuses. Excuse me. But you got to start somewhere. Okay. 5 minutes, if you can, every day. But the awareness is going to slow you down. Again, it's going to start opening you up. This is a perfect time to start doing meditation if you're not, because as you build up and get your time to increase a little bit more and more, by the time you get into the warmer months, now you can go outside. And when you go outside, especially if you've been doing this up to that point, when you go outside, you're going to be amazed at what you hear. So if you close your eyes and you're sitting on your back porch, your back deck, or maybe you go to a park and sit on a bench, maybe along the trail somewhere, and you close your eyes, excuse me, you're going to hear things that you probably didn't even notice before. Obviously you're probably going to hear birds, but you realize that when you calm yourself down, now everything else is going to be comfortable with you. Your energy is not going to be all over the place. So you might have birds, you might have squirrels, they might get pretty close, and you'll be able to open your eyes and you're not going to be shocked over it because you're just going to accept what's going on. So you are now seeing the environment change around you. Now that also applies to being amongst people. I've always said, you can't miss going into a room and you can just feel like, what's the energy doing? That's going to heighten a little bit more for you. The more you slow yourself down, you might be able to walk in a room and be like, yeah, I'm not going to probably hang out in this room too long because I don't want to feel like garbage because these people are just not, they're just like all mopey or sad or angry. And it's like, well, I don't want that on me. So you're going to back out. You're not going to just, sit in there and then absorb their energy. So you're going to be a little bit more aware of it. But it is a process. It's not an overnight thing, and it's something that you have to consciously do. And whether you take some notes and meaning you write this down of like, okay, I'm going to, sit for 5 minutes, close my eyes, and just focus on, my breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. That's the best one if you can do it, if you're not, sick or anything with a cold. But just the ability to calm down and relax. Now, once you do it for a long time, I did a little bit back in high school when I was first learning, but then I lost it for a brief time. And then when I got back into it, once I started realizing what my path was going to be, I spent 7.5 years doing meditation pretty much almost every day, various times, depending on what my schedule was like. But that was invaluable with those 7.5 years of all the relaxing and calming and just taking everything in, going outside or going to parks, going, on little camping trips and things, and just being out, not so much in a true campground, but being something that's a little bit more rustic, and just sitting there, not looking at an electronic device, and just maybe got a fire going and you're just kind of listening to things and you're just taking it all in. You're relaxing, you're calming down. All this stuff just starts appearing. And I'm not saying in a creepy way, but just things start happening and you start feeling differently. And when you go back, it's neat is that, when you go back to normal life, your normal routines, you still have that, but you also start missing that other stuff. And I I'm the same way. If I get to go out for a weekend or something like that, or get to spend some time in a park for a while, it's hard. Like right now, like if you get to go to a park, even though it's cold and stuff like that, and you get a chance to maybe walk some trails, you're not truly fully into it, because it takes a little bit longer. Because again, when you're so busy, you have your schedule's crazy. There's a lot of stuff you got to knock off of you to finally start absorbing what's going on. But it's better than nothing to get out there, and like I said, I try to stick my head outside or go stand outside, and for a few minutes every day, and just take it in and just appreciate things. But i love I love that because it just changes everything. To you don't need anything to help you to do it. It's just you going out there and taking a few breaths and just being, yes, it's good to be here again. And that's awesome. Yeah, Rachel, that's awesome. Yep, I'm glad you're doing it. And like I said, it's going to start changing. It's going to make a lot of things better, and it's going to help you out with just normal life. Yes, we need to still be busy at times. We still need to run here and there. You can't avoid that. We can't get completely away from what we have to do to survive, but at least you can kind of juggle that a little bit. You can kind of do what you need to do, but at the same time, you can kind of turn it off and just kind of be in the moment, be there, feeling everything around you. Even if you're in your home, it's not saying you can't, start inside, you know what I mean? And then maybe when the weather is better and you feel a little bit more comfortable, then go outside and do that, or take a trip to a park or something, you know, but I just I can't get enough over how important it is. And like I said, there's tons of other things to do. There's tons of exercises and stuff that to help you unlock that more. And like I said, we don't have a ton of time to do that, in a short show. But even then, it helps to be in person. And once we figure out, because like I said, we still want to kind of put that class together for this year, and that awareness will be kind of mixed in. You're not going to realize it's happening, but it is. You know what I mean? And so it's not just like a straight out, boom. Now, there is an option to making it a little bit more, but we're still kind of playing with some ideas and things. But a lot of times it's just going to be sort of blended in, and you're not going to realize it. So that's also kind of cool, is when you go through some of these, there's little things that you don't know are happening, which is awesome. But you just don't realize until afterwards, or unless one of us brings it up and says it to you guys. But yeah, we're excited. So we still got to try to finish out that, getting it locked in and stuff like that. But again, that'll be a big part of the class. We still are trying hard to get it all set. So, but yeah, like, I'm trying to think of what else would be helpful. I mean, in such a short, a little amount of time, but like I said, you got to do the meditation to get yourself going. Once you calm down, that's when you start seeing, sensing things. So just kind of, reiterating myself real quick. And the more you do it, the more things start coming in. And again, like I said, the awareness is going to help you out in all aspects of your life. Like I said, I talked a little bit about the physical aspect, seeing what's going on around you. We're so used to looking tunnel vision. So like right now, you guys are focused on the screen. But how much of you are, when you're looking at your screen, whether it's a computer or your phone or tablet, and what's to the left and right, what's above you, what's below you, you know what I mean? Do you see that stuff as you look straight at, at the device? That's the kind of thing, is where are you starting to physically look around, but not physically turn your eyes, look straight, but notice it. I can see my hand right here, but I'm looking straight at you guys. There's my thumb, it's moving, oh yeah, it is. But that's the physical side of it. It's cool because when you use that, because I know a lot of people don't, because we're always so set of what's in front of us. It's neat is when you see that. Remember, most of you should know that if you do when you're getting your license renewed, driver's license, You gotta, at least I'm assuming everywhere has to do it, but you gotta look in there, you gotta read the lines, and they always say which side's got the light on so they can see if your peripheral's still working. Oh, here's the light, here's the light. But that's where that comes in. So I mean, I've so many times, even this week, just being aware. I had a truck that literally was going to slam into me, just slam, and I saw it out of my left side, and I was like, "Whoa!" I hit the brakes, and sure enough, it was a big box truck. I don't know how he didn't see me, but he was literally over the line at that point, and I braked just quick enough to where I got slowed down, and he went in front of me, and but that's just being aware, you know what I mean? And we should be, while we're driving, you should be focusing on electronics and things. Don't do it if you are one of those guilty people. All right. Hey, Joe, you take care, buddy. Have a great day, man. We'll see you soon. And the, um, but that's where, like I'm saying, that's where the physical stuff comes in. It really can help you out while you're driving. But even then, when you're out and about, you know what I mean? And you're walking or something like that, if you're going a nature hike, you know, you're not, I mean, unless you're going there to truly exercise, that's a whole different subject. But if you're going there just to enjoy yourselves, well, one, slow down. Don't run through the trails, literally, or speed walk, really, but just stroll through the woods or wherever you're at. Maybe you're on a beach, but just casually move about, because you're not in a hurry, right? Because you went there specifically to be amongst whatever you're wherever you're at. But then just look as you're walking, just look in one direction and see if what you see. If you see other people, or you see something laying on the ground, see if your peripheral stuff catches it first before you then see it and then focus your eyes on it. But see, you'll start noticing a lot of little things instead of constantly doing this all the time, and it's like, might think you're mental if you're focusing on, looking around. You okay? You okay? So, but it's really neat is that you can pick up on things like that, and if you are slowed down when you're walking through the trails, you might see, animals and things, a lot of times chipmunks, those are wonderful. Like when you slow down and you're taking your time, so many times I've seen chipmunks, out of nowhere, or caught them like where they know I'm there, obviously, but yet, I'm not threatening. I'm not, making crazy movements where they're scared and run away, but they'll, whether they're moving or stopped and look at me, but I can sense they're there. And sure enough, you can feel that they're looking, and then you look, and then sure enough, then there they are. They're on the log or whatever they're at. And that's the fun part, is when you get to go and just, chill. And I love that. It's so neat to see the things, or sit in the woods and just watch how, when you completely shut down, how everything just starts to kind of sit around you, and it kind of opens yourself up, or with yourself opening up, you kind of just have nature, just kind of like, it's almost like nature gives you a hug in a way. They're hugging you, saying, hey, thanks for just chilling out with us, and like I said, you get animal life, or you might see, things that you didn't notice. Maybe you see, bugs or insects and things that you didn't notice before, just kind of flying around, not annoying you, of course. But you might see like dragonflies, over on some leaves or something like that. And maybe you didn't see it because you were too busy looking, at one thing. So, so it's kind of neat. I really hope that you guys can, take the time to relax a little bit more. You owe it to yourself. I mean, to be, full speed ahead day after day, it's going to take its toll on you. I think everybody knows that. And to not give yourself a break, like, I had to give myself a break for, all kinds of other reasons, but the fact of, hey, Jen, how you doing? Well, you're right. You're right. Um, it is true. It is so true. Touching the plants and trees and things, that I've done that even in the winter months. I remember, obviously we haven't had too much, or we haven't done it in a few years, but last time I went sledding with the kids, we, obviously there's trees are, all the leaves are falling off and stuff like that, but found a couple grandfather oaks, so grandfather oaks is because it's they got big, bases. And I was even telling my daughter at the time, I'm like, we got to go over there and tell the tree thanks for what it's doing, and even give it a little bit of a hug. And so it looks weird, sure, it looks weird, but the tree appreciates the love that you give it, and because obviously it's helping you in a lot of ways. But it is neat to kind of go over there and uh, put your hands on things, even if you got, I mean, if you could take your gloves off, especially nowadays, that's great, so that way you can really have that true contact. But if you got to wear the gloves because it's a little cold out, I get it, it's still the whole point of you making contact. So it still does work, but if you could take a glove off, do that, it's a little bit more, just a little bit tighter connection, you know what I'm saying? but uh but yeah, very, very cool thing to do. And that's what's neat too, is sometimes, to kind of add on to Jennifer's, message there, you might be, if you're out and about and you're walking around and hiking on some trails, yes, during these winter months, you might have something call out to you. You might feel a pull to something. Maybe it's a certain tree, and that could have various reasons why. Maybe they're going to give you some energy, or maybe they just want to give you praise and thanks for being there and acknowledging them. There's a lot of different messages that can come through, which is again part of being aware of what's going on. So when you take your time, you slow down, you never know what you might feel and hear and sense. So when you get pulled to something, boom, you're going to do it. So I love that. I love when that happens, and it's so neat. And I always give thanks, just for the opportunity to be made aware of something that is calling to me, and yet there is not like somebody screaming saying, "Hey, hey, I'm the tree, come over here and love me." So I love it. What do you got, Jen? That love energy from the heart goes into the earth and is spread through the trees, interconnected roots. It's a powerful experience for you. Yeah, for you. Yeah. Uh-huh. It does. You're right. I mean, the roots are everywhere. They're more than likely connected to a lot of other trees. And basically you get to the point where it's everything is connected. I mean, we are connected, in so many different ways. But I love that. Thank you, Jen. And yeah, oh, it's so cool. Um, so yeah, like I said, there's not, I can't really go too much deeper into things without like us running through exercises and stuff like that. But maybe there'll be a point. Maybe I'll do like some type of like online classes or something like that. We can, you know, take a a day down the road, and we could do some exercises, because obviously we can't always get together, and maybe we can set something up, just an idea that I have been thinking about in the background for a while. And even then we can do maybe some like group meditations or something like that, where those that struggle and maybe need a little bit of help, and because I do guided meditations. Some people have sat through some of my guided meditations, and that might be something we can look into, and just to help you out. So, but so yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. I've, like I said, I've been pondering it. It was just like, how am I gonna set it up and things. But um, I might have to use like Zoom or something like that, where I can get more people involved. But at the same time, it would be kind of fun to hang out with everybody, get to see everybody. We can do some Q&A kind of thing too, and make it a little bit worth your while for whether it's an hour or two. But there's something we can think about, and you guys can see what you think, and you let me know. And if it be something you're interested in, don't worry, I won't charge an arm and a leg. I'll just charge an arm or a leg, so. But yeah, especially nowadays, we have to kind of adapt to a lot of different things, and it's the way we live right now. We're just gonna make the best out of it and take advantage of hanging out or whatever we got to do, whether it's digitally or we can make some stuff happen in person. That'd be even better. But so yeah, I got about 10 minutes left. I'm trying to think of if there was anything else I wanted to touch on with you guys. I don't know if there's any questions, maybe. Um, or anybody else got any other comments that maybe they've would like to share on maybe some things that they've noticed, if they've um, practiced, or trying to look through, or trying to work on maybe awareness and didn't realize it. Like I said, it really could go, we could go on for a long time, but I just wanted to kind of touch on it, just kind of get people interested again in it, especially if we've forgotten about it. I mean, I know since we are in those winter months, we are kind of, like I said earlier, we're hunkered down. We're indoors a lot. We're not, doing a whole lot. And so these are the best times because, we don't have a lot of things going on that we can focus on ourselves, and we are in a Mercury retrograde, which is another thing is, we're supposed to be looking at, what we're doing to help ourselves out. It is a self-reflection, time for, a couple more weeks. And it's important to, take care of yourself. Again, just sort of like what I'm doing, which worked out really well because, again, I'm not full steam ahead yet myself. So even then, Mercury retrograde started. This is great. I'm still working on myself. Plus, I just don't have any other available times, to kind of do things. So it is kind of neat. So what you got, Jen? For me, the awareness of the breath and doing breath work is essential. Right. Yeah. And Jen, you were doing some of that. You were doing a breathing class type of thing. And I remember we were talking about a while ago. It's been a while since we've touched on it, but helping with really focusing on your breath and the specifics to it that, again, that's a long one. Well, maybe not as long, but you know what I mean? but yeah, she's right. It is key. Like I said, that's why meditation, I use that as more of the broad term for it, is just being able to focus and relax ourselves. Because you got to quiet yourself down so you can pick up and absorb and hear what's going on, not so much in an audible sense, like I said already, but just hear it. Your body hears what's going on and senses it. I love that. So anything, let's see, I'm trying to think. I don't think we have any issues. Yeah, we're doing pretty good for a while. There isn't really, and like I said, I'll start kind of tapering it down. There really isn't any concerns as far as the next time the show is not going to be running. It looks like the end of February. And again, I'm just kind of doing some housekeeping things. Maybe on February 26th, there might not be a show. So again, just kind of looking a good month ahead. But I may try to still do that recording option where I can record a show and then still have it air. I just wouldn't be live because that Saturday, that last Saturday of February, I'm going to be, not home. There's a function for my daughter that I got to go to. So I wouldn't, I'm going to be gone long before the show even, lights would normally start at 9:30. So, but it'll, so we'll see, but we'll see once we get a little bit sooner. And then Jen was just commenting back to breathing stuff has played a huge role in my ability to channel. And yes, I sought certification in what I already know and understand. Yeah. Which is cool. Yeah. Cause I think we just don't realize that. Oh, there we go. Carmen's got something. Once you become aware, do you notice other that are as well? Is that a connection you can feel with a stranger? I mean, the more the more you get comfortable, the more you relax and calm down, the more you are able to take your mind from a chaotic world, you can pick up on things that are going on. And it's not so much of like you're picking up on who's around them, whether it's, loved ones or guides and stuff like that. You're just picking up on their soul. I guess that's a weird way to put it, but their energies, you can kind of sense what's going on. I've had, even for me, I've had, close friends that have, I put on my good acting face and hiding, issues that are going on, but yet you can't stop it. Sorry, I had something in my eye. You can't stop from the fact that there's something inside, issues, and yet I've had them go, "What's going on with you today?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Now, some of them, I don't even play the I don't know what you're talking about kind of game anymore because I can't get it past them anyway. But that, being, that's the whole thing, is even through like this or being through messages and stuff, you can kind of sense, and it's really a cool connection of that. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, buddy. You have a great weekend as well, man. Stay warm, man. Maybe put a sweatshirt on and maybe not so much the long sleeve. Maybe that'll help you out too. Thanks, buddy. But uh the you really do, and I think the that is the great thing about awareness is that you really can pick up on people, especially the more you hang out with them in a way, the more you talk to them. It's weird that you can take just typed messages like here, if I really was to focus a little bit and not like look back and forth at everything, I could look at the words that everybody's typing, and I could almost pick up on what they're sensing, what their energy's like. I could tell if like maybe something's they're writing, but they got other things going on. You really can kind of tap into that. And it's neat that I probably would have never thought, and maybe some others didn't realize it, but even just looking at typed words, how you can truly pick up on that. It's so neat. It's one thing when you talk to somebody, you can hear their voice, or you're in person and you can, all that stuff just makes it so much easier, but it's so neat to pick up on things through typed messages, because sometimes it's your guides coming through and just kind of poking you saying, yeah, you really need to check on them. Or sometimes you're looking at your message, and it's not like, because obviously we type a message, it could mean a lot of different ways, the different tones that you would use in your voice, but it's so neat that you can just see a message and be like, get like Jen or Carmen right there, they're saying things, or even Matt, saying things. And then I could just jump in and be like, oh, are you doing okay? What's going on at home? Or, something bothering you, or, why do you seem like you're so edgy? And it's weird is that's not what you see in the words that are typed. It's just how it comes through. So that's a cool thing another, fun thing that when you get into it more and you really tap in, you can kind of pick up on those little things from a message. Obviously, if you, if you're laughing or something like that, you put the emojis, or you're typing out that you're laughing or something like that, you can tell what the person's mood is. But when it's just straight talk and stuff, then it's like, ooh, so. Oh, geez, Debbie. Well, I'm sure, I'm sure if that really was to come through, digging a grave on a beach. Well, it may not be that it's a grave, but I could be like, why are you digging a hole? So might not have the finer details of it, but it's like, why is that going on? But hopefully that's close, Carmen, to what you were looking to get out of there as far as your questions go. But yeah, we got a couple minutes left. So yeah, like I said, I do like to kind of play it by ear and see what's going on, and kind of adapt to what's going on around me. So as far as other topics, for next week and things, I don't know off the top of my head, but now, like I said, I always offer it out to you guys. If there's anything that you want me to touch on, or, dive deeper into, I'm more than willing. Cause like I said, the idea is always that you guys could, wake up and you've got that sort of burning question about something, or a topic, and you want to know more about, let me know, whether it's here or personally. And, I'll put it up, and, whether it's what I know, or, we can go and, I'll do a little bit of what I know. And as far as, documented, information that we can share, and I can put stuff up on the screen, I can do that, like examples and stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys got any suggestions, I'm in. Like I said, I want you guys to be able to ask whatever you want, and if that helps you out, with burning questions that have always been there, or something you heard, or something you've always wanted to know, let me know. That'd be great. And other than that, let's just call it a day. Well, not officially. I'm going to be doing chores and things around the house, so not really a day, even though I wouldn't mind a nap. Just not yet. I still finishing up my little bit of coffee left, so maybe in a couple hours, I'm getting old. But all right. Well, like always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and waking up this early, and hopefully it gets you thinking about things, especially with awareness, and starts you, again, get back to that quick meditations, get you slowing down. And, you know, even if meditation's not your thing, but if you can listen to some relaxing music that you can just kind of close your eyes and immerse yourself, that's, we take what we can and we can work with things. So, whatever it can do to just can take your mind away from things, and a lot of relaxation music, a lot of guided things on YouTube. There's a lot of things that are at your fingertips that you can do to start help quieting yourself down. So thanks, Debbie. You have a great weekend. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here, and thanks again for hanging out with me, and we will do it again. So watch for posts this week and whatever else happens. So Nicole, have a great weekend. Appreciate it. So with that said, you guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much. As I can never say it enough, because it does mean so much that you guys come and hang out with me. Shannon, enjoy your day, your weekend. Jennifer, thank you for your comments, and appreciate that. And everybody else, it just means a lot to see you guys and hanging out with me. So I will see you again soon. Take care. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.